Hey, right. Hey. お願いします。お願いします。はい。はい、side to side. はい、lift the shoulders. Circles one way. Circles the other way. Arms going forward. Arms going back. Shomen. Always remember to keep your center of gravity low. You know, like that now. Lower your hips. And yokomen. Stretch one side. And stretch the other side. Cross one side. Cross the other side. Open and close. Hey, Samaki. Hand tight. Ryoho. Tenchi. Yoko. Hey, deep breathing, hands down. Breathing in, cute. Go. Cute. Go. San, cute. Go. Hey, 体を。Side. Outside. Inside. Outside. Inside. And back. Front. Back. Hey. So. And your knees, front and back. Your knees circles, one way. Knees circles the other way. Down. Down. Up. Up. Open your toes. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Hey, breathing in. Out. In. Out. Here. Go. And the hips side. And open your legs and right. Elbows inside. Gently try to move your hips side to side. Keep moving, opening to one side. In the middle again. Open to the other side. Middle again. Grabbing your toes, raising your head. And hips up. Let go of your toes. And slowly through your spine. Coming up to your shoulders and then your head. And rotate your hips. One side. And the other side. So, one more time, lower your body as you can. Remember, the important thing is not necessarily to go all the way down, but to identify and work within your range of movement. Where is the limit of your muscle and bone mobility, whatever that is, just try to find that range. Doesn't have to be this range, it can be any range as long as we identify it and we can work within that. Okay, opening one side. Move inside and move down, toes, head up, hips up, and spine, shoulders and head, and hips. Hey, open your legs, side to side. Side to side. Side. And lower a little bit, one side. Lower on the other side. And toes up on one side. Toes up on the other side. Opening your legs, elbows down. And coming forward. Back stretch. Forward again. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Hips down. And back. Hey, side to side. Side. Hey, side to side. And sitting down. Okay, just slowly open your legs, okay, at a width where you can move to one direction into a shin box position, okay, and moving into the other side, the shin box position, without moving too much your feet, okay. So once you establish your feet, the width of your hip, okay, move to one side, shin box, okay, move to the other side, shin box, move to one side, shin box. Move to the other side. Move to one side and stretch backwards. Move to the other side and stretching backwards. 2 more times. One side, backwards. And the other side, backwards. Okay, this time add your Ushiro Kemi, add into shin box position, Ushiro Kemi, into shin box, Ushiro Kemi, shin box, Ushiro Kemi, Ushiro Kemi, shin box, Kemi, shin box. So now this time, we're playing with you remember our basic way of exiting Shirokemi is with our leg down, and one leg posting. That's kind of our basic way of Kemi because that allows us to get up. But sometimes now what we're going to do is we're going to practice with the leg that is getting posted. Let's practice basically 3 different positions, which serve 3 different purposes. They're not all equal, they just serve 3 different purposes, okay? So position number 1 is going to be really close to your other foot, as close as you can to your other foot, and that kind of try to maximizing the opening of the foot that is down into this position. Try it, it's difficult, but try to keep both of your entire bum touching the ground as much as possible. Okay? You may fly a little bit on one side, which is, I don't know if normal, but if you have it still like me in the morning, yeah, it flies a little bit on one side. But the idea is try to open up that leg, second leg as close as possible to the other foot, and just keep them in this position. Okay, so 1, as close as possible to the other foot. 2, as close as possible to the other foot. 3, as close as possible. 4, close. 5, close. 6, close. 7, close. I remember it's almost, they are touching each other. They're touching, and your ankle with your shin on the other side. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so just a reminder of our backward rolls, and this is something that you know, hopefully kids learn since even kids learn since the very first time that they come to the dojo, is that there are two things that have to happen at the very beginning before our rolls. Number one is your head never touches the ground, and also that idea that your head is always stuck into it, so your head is always off the ground. That must be true for all our rolls. And number two, that you breathe on the way when your body is contacting the floor. So you breathe in and you breathe out. You breathe in and you breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so please, you always keep those two things are the absolute basics of rolling in any form. Okay, your head never touches the ground and you're always breathing out at the moment of contact with the floor. So those after that, then all the different little techniques of backwards rolls, sideways rolls, etc., kind of come into life, but no head touching the ground, always breathing out when touching the ground. Okay, so now the next one, okay, we're going to basically shoot as far as we can, okay, as far as we can, and try to come up, and then stretch ourselves for our hip flexor. So we should, okay, shoot your leg now, it's the opposite, instead of as close as you can, as far as you can, and hip flexor. And again, shoot as far as you can, and hip flexor. Shoot as far as you can, and hip flexor. Shoot as far, flexor. Go. Go. Okay, so now, okay, so the next one, so the first one was as close as we could, okay, so kind of got into this position, you know, trying to push the bent leg down and opening our hips. The second one was as far as we could, so we could move forward and stretch our hip flexor. But remember that when you do ukemi, none of those two extremes occur, ideally. Your leg, when you're actually doing ukemi, is neither all the way tucked in, not all the way tucked out. Sorry, all the way extended up. So your leg is somewhere in the middle. That's important for us to study, where the support that is about to be demanded on this leg is maximized, because what follows now is me shooting myself up. Okay, and that 100% relies on how well supported this leg is. Okay, so just need to remember, I've said this many times, but we just recently had, you know, somebody twisting a little bit the ankle because of that. The rush, the getting up was too much in a rush. The foot, the leg was not in the best, in the most optimal position, and there was a little bit of a twist. Nothing dangerous, but it can be something a little bit more serious if we are not careful. So remember, if your leg, you know, is too much outside and you try to get up, that's not great for your knee. If your leg is too inside and you try to get up, it's also possibly not great. If your leg is too outside, same thing, no structure. If your leg is too much inside, same thing, no structure. And I did this with the kids the other day, you know, where I asked a kid, you know, to come in this position and just come and stand up on my leg, you know, and of course, because it's perfectly vertical, you know, a kid can stand up here and he'll be no problem. But, you know, I said to him, well, what do you think if I put my leg here and I ask you to stand on my leg? Well, it's going to hurt, correct? But if I am here and I ask you to stand on my leg, it's going to hurt. What about here, I ask you the same. What about here, and I ask you the same. So in all those four other positions, my leg was going to suffer. So it's only in this position where the leg doesn't suffer, okay? So depending how our knee condition, remember, our arms always have to be supporting the movement of our body somehow. So sometimes our health of our knee is not good, and that's when, for example, we support ourselves on our own knee, and then we push ourselves forward, because we are basically unifying all our weight into something that we expect or hope that is a good grounding action, a good stability moment, and then we push ourselves up. Okay, so that's why up and up and down. That kind of helps us. Okay, so if your knee is not in a great shape, you know, first have a good position of your foot. Second, unify your hands. But careful that your leg is not in a put position of its foot, and then unify, because it's going to make things worse. Okay, so good position first, unification later, getting up. Okay, if your knee is in a better held position, good position first, and then unification. Okay, so this time let's just practice that. Ushirukemi, up, and just see where you land. Just see where you land. If you had to load in that position, would that be the most optimal position? Or your foot has to be a little bit more forward, or a little bit more back, or a little bit more out, or a bit more in. You know, just check for a moment. Ushirukemi, shoot, and stop. Is that, you think, the best position where you will be now loading into? Okay, Ushirukemi, and stop. Is that the best position for what's coming now, which is loading? Ushirukemi, check position. Okay, Ushirukemi, check position. Ushirukemi, check position. Ushirukemi, check position, and getting on. Okay, so now this is a classic one of habits. You know, if we pay attention to that good position of our foot for whatever, a month of training, then it will become a habit, and then we don't have to worry about it. You know, it will just be natural, you know, that we land in that position, and that accidents can always happen, but mostly will be a natural position. But if we are not paying attention to that, and then we do our rolls without polishing that little habit, then the possibility of it being an accident is greater, right? So especially on things that happen fast, for example, a front roll, you know, if I come and I go, roll, up, and then something happens, right? So I'm here, I take roll, up, and then I go up, and now I'm going to get up, boom, and then, you know, that little springing around of my leg, one day, especially as much as we get older, one day my body will not forgive it. You know, many times you will forgive it. You say, okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. But one day my body will not forgive it, and then, you know, me here, poor position, getting up, and my body won't like that. My body will say, no, that's enough, and then you will just climb. So good position, and then getting up. Okay, so go down to your knees. Okay, just one side. Just avoid the ukemi for now. Just one leg. Okay, make sure that it's in a good position. Load and raise. Coming down and knee. Change side. Good position. Okay, make sure that it's good. Loading, raising. Down, knee. The side. Good position. The best position that you can. And loading. And down. The side. Position. Loading. Up and down. This is a classic of things that we can control and things that we cannot control. You know, what can we not control many times? Sometimes the health and the condition of our body. For whatever reason, you know, our body is in a particular condition, and that's just what we have to deal with. So we cannot always say, well, how well is my knee, how well is my hip, etc. But, you know, what we can control is the attention that we put to details like this. How well planted is my foot in order to create a loading motion, okay, versus how poorly planted maybe, even if it's a little bit, is my foot in order to create a loading motion. Okay, so the health of our body, on one hand, sometimes it's out of our control when we have a chronic condition or something. On the other hand, the paying attention of, is this leg that is about to load in the best possible, the most stable position that I can manifest in order to make it load. Okay, if it is not, then pause and make it in the best possible position that you can for load. Okay, so anyway, so that's the example on our knee when we go up. But it's the example that we need to kind of pay attention to pretty much anything in our body. Remember, one fundamental element of our training is that our body must be properly aligned. Okay, so what does that mean? That our foot, our knee, our hips are properly aligned, our center is properly aligned, etc. It is when things are out of alignment that things become weaker. And when things are out of alignment and then there is movement, especially sudden movement, that's when we have accidents. So alignment in all our positions is something that we must always study, because that's the foundation of not having injuries later on in certain parts. Okay? All right, so grabbing a joke, please. There's a little stick, that one will do. This one? Yeah, that one will do. Okay. All right. So we've been practicing the whole week, or part of the week, with Kaiten Nage. Okay, Kaiten Nage. Okay, and I was saying all of us learn most of the time in Kaiten Nage. We learn basically Uchi form or Soto form. You know, so we learn Uchi form, and then we learn from down and going to Kaiten Nage. Okay, or we learn Soto form outside, down, like back. That's alignment, for example. You know, so that's the man that I was saying about alignment. It happens with everything. You know, in my ukemi here, and sometimes this happens in ukemi with Kaiten Nage. I am moving back, my arm is moving back, therefore his arm is moving back. Now he has two options. He has option one, do nothing with his foot. Just leave the foot where it is, but allow me to do this with the arm. So that is out of alignment, because the arm came back, but the foot never came back. So what follows from here is going to be a difficult ukemi, because not impossible, but very difficult. Remember, there's a way of practicing that ukemi, if you are interested, and which is physical education, but it is not efficiency. Our ukemi always happens same foot, same hand. Always happens same foot, same hand. There are occasions when people like practicing opposite foot, opposite hand. It is not an impossible ukemi, but same foot, same hand versus one foot, opposite hand is a much more difficult ukemi. The second ukemi, the one that is opposite, has greater chances of ending in an accident. It's possible to get away with it, but it has greater chances of ending with an accident. So that's why when we practice, okay, 1, 2, my arm goes back, his leg goes back, and now he is same foot, same leg. Okay, open, step, I go back, he comes back, same foot, same leg. So this is a classic exercise of Aikido. You know, remember Moreno Sensei really didn't start taking me a lot of uke until my Kaiten Nage ukemi was together with him as much as possible. Here, nothing has happened. We are like a mirror. I step back, he steps back. Once again, he's aligned. Okay? Anyway, so most of us, alignment. So most of us learn Kaiten Nage by Uchi and Soto. Okay? But during the week, we also did Hijimi, cutting down, Kaiten Nage, and we were also doing absorbing, cutting down, Kaiten Nage. Okay? So entering, cutting down, Kaiten Nage position, absorbing, down, Kaiten Nage. Okay? So grab your jaw, okay? And then just practice both hands down, okay? Yakute position, both hands down, okay? We're going to step forward, lower, and bring again into Kaiten Nage position. Because of the nature of the jaw, you have to change your top hand, okay, once you're up there, and then entering it, okay? So hands down, okay? Stepping forward, turning like where would be the head, cutting down, change, and forward, okay, to the side, okay, stepping in, controlling what would be the head, down, vertical, change your hand, just for practice, keep this in the middle of your body, okay, and forward, okay, to the side, your hands down, step in, lower yourself down, vertical, change hand, forward, okay, your hands down, stepping in, down, vertical, change hand, forward. So now we're going to step in. This is a little detail that we practice during the week that is difficult. When we practice with our partner, okay, remembering that we're coming here and we come to the head, we attack the head. Now, while it's okay, you know, to attack the head, we are trying to enter into what is the strongest part of his structure. So in this part of his structure, that's as strong as his structure is going to be. I cannot push that structure down unless I hit it and then pull it down. Okay, so this is as strong as I'm going to do. His arm is out, you know, his hands are here. If I ask her to keep his hand up there, this is the weakest part of his structure. And the more I climb his structure, the stronger he becomes until he's fully strong there, because that's where his spine is, right? So when I enter here, I cannot just simply lower himself here. I have to move him forward and around into that position, okay? So I cannot simply cut him here. I have to move him forward, use a little bit of unekogi, and around, okay? Enter, go, forward, circle, grab, enter here, moving full unekogi, using your spine, using your hips, using your body, using your thighs. So let's just study that. When you grab your jaw, okay, stepping in, and not simply cut down, move forward, absorb it back, vertical. Change the top hand just to keep the fingers, and moving forward. Okay, to the side, stepping in. Remember, you cannot just simply down, you have to move forward, absorb, keep it vertical, change one hand, and now remember, just for habits and for this is a good thing about doing things solo. Okay, when we practice with our partner, depending on our partner, when we throw in Kaiten Nage, we need to let them go out. We need to let them roll, because it's, you know, they're learning the roll, and it's a little bit easier to roll out. But the more we practice, that roll starts to become more inside of our center of gravity, which is why sometimes people flip into it. So when you do solo practice, careful to not emphasize the wrong habit, pushing it out, but emphasize the correct habit, which is bringing it into your own center of gravity. Okay, so okay, stepping forward, leg, roll, up, change hand, stepping in, inside, okay, inside. Fundamentally where you are going to end. Okay, to the side, stepping forward, rolling, down, up, change hand, stepping in. To the side, stepping forward, rolling, down, up, holding, stepping in. To the side, stepping, rolling, down, up, forward, stepping in. Okay? So that's with the irimi form. Now let's do the same, but with the absorptive form. Tension, absorbing. So in this case, our two hands again, this position, absorb, rolling forward, vertical, don't break my ball, change, and in. Okay, so it looks like with a partner, okay, is absorb, control, rolling forward, roll, control, and okay, absorbing, control, rolling, control head, and forward. Okay, so breather. So okay, so two hands in front, absorb. Okay, absorb, extend, roll, vertical, change, and to the side. Absorb, extend, roll, back, change, and to the side. Absorb, extend, roll, back, change, vertical. Side. Absorb, extend, roll back, hold, and vertical. Okay. So we mentioned how this idea of stepping backwards, absorbing while extending forward is an idea that we have to develop a lot, because especially in Yoko Minucci forms, sometimes when he Jokomen, right? When he Jokomen on that side, I will be encouraged to step back, to absorb it. But then in my effort of stepping back, I move my entire body back. So that hand never reaches me. As opposed to saying, no, I have to move my body back, but my hand forward. No. So I'm moving my body back and forward. Okay. Body back and forward. Okay? As opposed to body back, hand back. Okay? Or not hand back, but the whole body. Okay? So my step goes back, my whole body goes back. No, this. My step goes back, but my energy goes forward. My energy goes back. So, okay, so it's that idea that we can step backwards while extending. Step backwards while extending. Step backwards while extending, as opposed to stepping backwards and contracting everything. Okay? So try to have that feeling when you do this movement with your stick. Okay? Step back, extend. Row, circle, vertical, and go. The other side. Step back, extend. Down, vertical, change, and end. The other side, back, extend. Vertical, vertical, change, go. One more, okay. Back, extend. Circle, vertical, change, and end. Good? So, those two motions, like of entering and absorbing, okay, are not as common as our two basic motions with Kaiten Nage, which is Uchi and Soto. Typically, we learn a lot from Uchi and Soto. Irimi and Tenshin are not so common, but they teach us slightly other angles of the technique. We're saying when we practice Uchi and Soto, we learn a lot the importance of leading. This is my hand, I'm leading with my hand, I'm leading with my hand, and the entire leading action makes it coming to position. I'm leading with my hand, leading with my hand, leading, lowering my hips, and coming to position. So that's good, and with Soto it's the same thing. I'm leading, 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 and then ending up. So that's good. So for Irimi, we're going to focus more on the other hand. The hand that comes to the head, rowing, rowing, control. Hand comes to the head, rowing, rowing, control. Absorbing is the same plus the addition of stepping back and extend. Okay? Step back or extend. Step back or extend. And now row into position. Step back or extend. Step back, extend. Step back, extend. Now roll yourself into position. Okay? So same technique, but a couple of different learning processes. Alright, let's finish up with Funakogi. Funakogi, please. Rowing. The foundation of many of our Taisabaki movements is in good Funakogi. That's why Funakogi is so important. Because as Mara Sensei does it, it uses the lower body properly, the spine properly, and our energy properly. Hands in front. Hey. Yee ho, 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 yee ho. Drama. Hey, that's right. And Itza, 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 Itza. Go. Hey, you can go it. But enough, learning to get up and learning to have good stability on our getting up begins with good attention to Seiza. But many times, Seiza, we did a little bit of work a few months ago now, but so many times, especially in our culture, we don't give attention and credit to Seiza and getting up from Seiza nowhere near as much as we possibly should, right? You know, when you are in Seiza position, okay, the first action is to come into Kisa position, and then from there, depending on what you're practicing, okay, a little bit of tradition there, but not, but one leg shoots forward, bring back, second leg comes up. And on the way down is a similar thing. You go down, you know, you change your stability, check into Kisa, back into Seiza. But that whole action, that simple action of coming from Seiza and out of Seiza, into Seiza, is a moment of mindfulness in an entire set of things. But if you want to get it really mechanically, even a very good exercise of mindfulness on stability on your legs, because it's demanding you to shoot up and to shoot down. But most of us, you know, we just kind of bow and then, you know, adopt all the forms for getting up, which are fine, but they bypass that opportunity for mindfulness of that. So pay attention to your Seiza and how you get out of it. Maybe that helps a little bit with structural stability. Right. Hey. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I pay attention to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.